With over 20 million subscribers, Jesser's definitely the face of NBA YouTube, even making videos with actual NBA players. But today, instead of sharing the camera, they're sharing the court.
Goes by drops the sledgehammer!
As today, he'll be making his debut for the Golden State Warriors, allowing him to play with Steph Curry as he closes out his legendary career. But to keep the focus on Jesser, he has certain traits that'll help him on his new journey. At age 25, he's in his athletic prime. And while other content creators might struggle in the height department, at 6'2", he doesn't have to worry about that. So when you combine that with his hours upon hours of basketball experience, he's NBA ready. Already averaging 14 points, 4 rebounds, and 4 assists per game off the bench, helping the Warriors win 51 games on the year.
The playoff battle in the West starts off with a bang right here. Game 1. I'm Kevin Harlan alongside Richard Jefferson and Greg Anthony. And with us from the sidelines tonight, David Aldridge.
So within the span of a couple months, Jesser's gone from YouTube to the NBA playoffs, with his first opponent being Luka Doncic and the Dallas Mavericks. But he's not alone, as he's joined by Kyrie Irving as well as former Splash Bro Klay Thompson, making for an offensive powerhouse that'll be taking Game 1 of this series.
I think it was a great game today. We step up together, play good defense, and it was a great win.
But now is not the time to overreact. After all, Steph Curry's on the other end. And with the help of his newest Splash Bro Jesser, the two will launch plenty of threes to turn the series around, winning the next 3 games to go up 3-1. It's pretty much guaranteed that Golden State is going to advance. If it weren't for the fact that they're up against Luka Doncic, one of the league's clutchest players who will live up to that reputation by taking Game 5 on the road, followed by a triple-double to win Game 6 at home to tie the series up. And just like that, while it's only the first round, Jesser's going to be playing in his first Game 7.
We all can play better, and we all gotta play better if we're gonna win on Sunday.
But in the case of Steph Curry, he might not have many Game 7s left. He's 37 years old and is running out of time to win championship number 5. So with that sense of urgency, you can count on him to give the Warriors a chance. And along with Jesser, who's improved rapidly over the course of the season, they'd be able to put up a fight with Dallas and all of their stars, leading us into the final moments of the game where both teams would be separated by just 2 points with less than 2 minutes to play. If the Warriors can hold on to their slim lead, they're moving on to the second round. And if Jesser can have some huge plays down the stretch, he can prove that he truly belongs in the NBA. Kuminga with the ball, over to Jesser on the fast break. Jesser with the step back, over Klay Thompson at the elbow, it's good. 1:34 left, it's a 4-point game. Klay Thompson against his former team. Jesser standing in the left corner. Klay Thompson driving to the paint, pass down to Gafford. Good defense by Looney. The kick out to Washington. Washington misses. Golden State with a chance to put it out of reach. Jesser between the legs, over to Steph. On the wing, guarded by Luka. Star versus star. Luka trying to play defense. Steph gets all the way to the cup. It's now a 6-point game. Golden State is running away with it. Luka trying to respond. 56 seconds to play. Klay Thompson with some space. It's not over yet. 53 seconds left. Plenty of time for a Dallas comeback. Steph Curry with the ball. On the isolation. Behind the back. Crossover into a crowd. Klay swipes at the ball. Steph with the behind the back layup. It's off. Luka on the break. Guarded by Kuminga now. 34 seconds left on the clock. The left-handed floater is off. A bucket here by Golden State could be backbreaking. The pass over to Steph Curry, guarded by Klay Thompson. Steps back over his former teammate. It's off. He had a fantastic look. Dallas is going to call timeout. Some drama down the stretch. 20.3 left to play. They pass it into Luka in the corner with some space. He ties it up. Luka wasting no time. 17.8 seconds left on the clock. We're all tied up. Will it be Steph? Will it be Jesser? Who's taking the final shot? With a trip to the second round on the line, Steph Curry with the size up. 5 seconds left on Luka. Luka playing good defense. Steph gets right by him though at the last second. 2.3. Dallas with a chance to win the series. PJ Washington on the inbound finds Klay Thompson for the win. It's off, and that's gonna do it. Some drama down the stretch. And with that close win, the Warriors are barely escaping to the second round. As you just saw, their road to a title was almost cut short. There wouldn't be much time to celebrate, however, as in the next round, they'd be in Denver for a matchup with Jokic. But fortunately for the Dubs, this series would be much more simple, and a much-needed rest for Steph Curry's old legs as they take down the Nuggets in just 5 games. Keeping them fresh as the team would head to Minnesota for the Western Conference Finals, where if they can take down Ant-Man, they'll head to the finals and play their toughest opponent yet.
And the Boston Celtics will go to the NBA Finals.
But before we see if they meet up with Boston in the finals, let's check in on Jester specifically. He's having a very good postseason, averaging 13 points, 5 rebounds, and 5 assists. If he's already playing this well as a rookie, who knows what's in store for him as he continues to improve. But to focus on the present, he would be a huge part in Golden State taking down Minnesota in 5 games.
The Warriors are going to the NBA Finals again.
Which means that we're having a rematch of the 2022 Finals between Golden State and Boston, with Steph 4 wins away from title number 5. But above all else, the Warriors are at the hardest part of their journey, as while they won it all in 2022, we're 3 years past that and Boston's even better than before. Specifically, Tatum and Brown, who would lead the Celtics to a resounding win in Game 1.
You had a monster game. What was your mindset coming in?
Just be aggressive, keep playing my game.
But the series is far from over, and in true Steph Curry fashion, he would put on a show in front of Boston's crowd, eventually tying up the series just as fast.
Steph Curry again from deep.
And as the series shifted back to the Bay, it would be Jester providing the spark off the bench. Now going up 2-1 in the finals, with all the momentum on the Warriors' side.
Have a night like tonight where everything's clicking. Just want to embrace it. This is a great place to play.
But as a team's leader, how far can Steph Curry actually go? The NBA is changing rapidly. Older stars are being pushed out, and fans are looking everywhere possible to find the stars of the future. At Steph's age, closing out the series will be extremely difficult. If it was a few years earlier, he'd surely finish the job. Right now, the NBA is a league for its young stars. Tatum and Brown would be reclaiming control of the series, winning the next few games to go up 3-2. Steph can't do it alone and desperately needs some help. But while Jester's had a great rookie season, at the end of the day, he's just a rookie. Game 6 would be a struggle at the worst possible time, leading to a dominant Boston game where they would silence the Warriors crowd, which would leave them just moments away from a title.
And the Boston Celtics have done it. Oh, to be crowned a champion on the road is something else. To win, and you've conquered everything that this great arena holds.
And that means that Steph is going to have to wait even longer for that 5th title, if it even happens. And in order for it to happen, Jester has to improve and become his co-star. But entering 2026, he would make some huge strides to do so on day 1 of the new season, as after a year on the bench, he'd finally be entering Golden State's starting 5.
Starting at shooting guard, number 17, Jester.
And with his newfound role as a starter, he'd see his stats jump way up, going from 14 to 22 points per game, to go along with 5 rebounds and about 6 assists, helping him finish his 2nd year as the NBA's most improved player. But now entering the playoffs, Jester would be up against a very different opponent than what he's used to. All of the stars he's faced to this point are from the NBA's newest generation. This time, however, he's up against the league's oldest player, LeBron James, who's finishing up his 23rd and final year in the NBA. But while he is still joined by Anthony Davis, who's as dominant as ever, the rest of the Lakers roster is highly questionable at this point. And if you were to sum up this matchup in just a couple of plays, look no further than the final moments of Game 6. Here we go, 16 seconds left, Game 6. Golden State is up 3-2. This could be LeBron's last game. 8 seconds on the shot clock. 6 now. 5, 4. Steph Curry for the win. From deep. It's good. Which would give Golden State a 3-point lead, leaving just 1.4 seconds left on the clock. And you would think that in the face of elimination, the ball would find one of the 2 best Lakers on the floor. But instead of that, 1.4 left to play for the Lakers. Rui doesn't even get the shot off. What? So in the end, the Warriors would be advancing and LeBron would be retiring. But above all else, this win over the league's oldest player is extremely ironic, With James leaving the game behind, it now makes Steph the oldest player in the league, and thus the target has shifted onto him. A few rounds later, the Warriors would find themselves up against the Memphis Grizzlies in the Western Conference Finals. Ja Morant would be trying to send Steph into retirement. He would do a pretty good job by taking the first 2 games in Golden State to go up 2-0. And as far as Jesser goes, it's extremely ironic that after befriending an NBA All-Star such as Jaren Jackson Jr., he'd be one of the main reasons why Memphis would then go up 3-0, eventually laying the red carpet for Ja, who'd finish the series off. And just like that, the Warriors have gone from extreme elation to devastation, actually going backwards from last year. And to top it all off, the season would end with the Celtics doing it again, winning another championship. It really does appear that the game is passing Steph by. But in turn, that gives Jesser the opportunity to do even more, and after a good offseason of training, Season 3 would be by far his best one yet. As midway through the year, he'd be making his first All-Star team, averaging a very impressive 25 points and 6 assists per game. At this point, he's definitely one of the best co-stars in the league. But in order to be considered as one of the best ever, he'll have to redeem himself in the postseason, because at this point, that's all that really mattered. Attempt number 3 to ring would start off the same way as last year, with the Warriors taking down the now LeBron-less Lakers in 6 games, followed by the second where they would run into Ja Morant for a second straight time. But with Jaren Jackson Jr. leaving the team in the offseason and Jesser much improved, it would actually be Golden State getting revenge, winning the series in 5. And for their final Western opponent, they'd head down to Houston, Texas, where they'd be up against star young player Cooper Flag. But since he's only a second-year player, there's realistically no way that he can match up to the battle-tested Jesser and Steph, as they'd advance after a tough 6 games to return to the NBA Finals for the first time in 2 years.
The Golden State Warriors proved they had what it takes to be conference champions. Only one obstacle stands between them and the Larry O'Brien Trophy as they battle against the Cavaliers. The pinnacle of the postseason, the NBA Finals, is here.
But with the passage of time, the Warriors and Cavs look very different from their 2010s rivalry, the only constants being Steph and Draymond, who are also the only people on either starting 5 to have previously won a championship as a featured player. And as far as Jesser goes, when this rivalry was at its peak, he was still a 2K YouTuber ripping packs. But just as it was back then, the first to 4 wins. Out of the 2, it would be the higher-seeded Cavaliers and Donovan Mitchell taking Game 1 at home. At the moment, Jesser doesn't have anything for him defensively. But what he does have is an offensive bag that's deep enough to win out in a shootout. As in Game 2, he would set the table with 27 points, allowing Steph to seal it to tie the series off.
Did something feel different for you in the second half?
Nah, just made some shots.
But in Game 3, it would be Donovan Mitchell who would make even more. Over the last few years, every title has been won by a new generation star. And that trend would get one step closer as the Cavs would take the lead back, which would basically be meaningless just as fast, as Steph Curry and Jesser would save the day, guiding their team to a win in Game 4 to tie the series up yet again. As usual, the Warriors and Cavs have given fans a memorable finals, but who's going to win Game 5? With all eyes watching, we would see an intense back and forth between both teams, eventually heading into overtime. But while Steph is mainly responsible for the Warriors getting this far, it would be his newest splash bro sealing the deal. As after one more huge shot from Jesser, being guarded by Mitchell, no dribble, the elbow jumper is good. The Warriors would be walking away with a 3-2 lead in the series, giving them a shot to end it in front of their home fans, which they haven't done since 2017. But unlike the Cavs of then, the Cavs of now would put up a much better fight, with none other than Donovan Mitchell, who's now in his 30s, starving for his first ring, leading the way. And while in the last game, Jesser sealed it for his team, this time it would be very different. Here we go, Steph Curry with the ball, over to Jesser. Jesser's gonna take a 3, it rims in and out. So in the end, as Cleveland dribbled out the clock, the 2027 NBA Finals would be going to Game 7. with the Cavaliers now sending the series back home. For Jesser, it's obviously a stressful situation, but for Steph, it's a case of deja vu. History repeat itself from 2016 with another blown lead to the Cavaliers? It's definitely a possibility as the Cavs are at home and the score would remain very close. And very similarly to the last time the Warriors played a Game 7, Jesser's rookie year against Dallas, it would eventually go down to the wire after a long and drawn-out battle. The only silver lining would be that Golden State would be the ones with a 4-point lead in 4 minutes to play. But considering how much of a grind it was to get this far, closing it out is not guaranteed. At this very moment, Jesser has 22 points on the game, but he'll have to score even more if he wants to walk away as a champion. With the mismatch, he's going to kick it over to Jesser, who also has the mismatch. Huge speed advantage. The pull-up mid-range is going to rattle in. There we go. The Warriors on the other end. The handoff. Jesser with the three. His second straight bucket. Garland with the ball now. Guarded by Steph Curry. Double screen. Some fast-paced action. Both teams are sharp down the stretch. Jesser with the ball. The mismatched shoes. Shout out to Kobe. The handoff. Steph Curry. Even more threes going up. He hits one as well. Both teams are on fire down the stretch. It's going to come down to defense. The pass into Allen off the inbound, off the Draymond foul. Okoro with the ball. They're running a play. It looks like Okoro's getting a screen. They go under. He makes some pay. Okoro's getting in on the action. It's getting crazy in Cleveland. Jesser with the ball now, guarded by Mitchell. They clear out for him. Behind the back, driving right, into the lane, draws the foul. No and one, but he's going to the line for two. Jesser has been on fire since we've jumped in. First free throw's good, and the second to make it a 6-point game rolls off. I jinxed it, my bad. Donovan Mitchell with the ball in the break, the spin move and the dunk, taking advantage of that missed opportunity to extend the lead. Although Golden State can get it right back and then some. Draymond with the ball. Looks like they're running a play for Jesser on the left. They pass it over to Jesser at the top of the key. Nothing happening at the moment. He's going to pull up behind the screen. He hits another shot. Jesser is on fire. The former most improved player from last year. The all-star from this year. 2 minutes remaining. Okoro with the ball. Okoro with the screen. Guarded by Kuminga. Turns it over. He tries to save it. It's picked up by Draymond, who passes it over to Jackson Davis. Jackson Davis on the break. He makes the layup. Golden State could potentially hold on for the championship here, in large part thanks to Jesser, who has a bunch of clutch buckets down the stretch. Okoro with the ball. The layup is up and it's in. A lot of buckets down the stretch, but not many stops. The man with the ball right now on fire. Jesser behind the back. Step back on Mitchell. Mid-range. He is unstoppable right now. I don't even know how many points that is. I lost count. From YouTube to Game 7. Okoro with the ball, taking over the game. Why is he getting the ball so much? He draws the foul. He made the first free throw. The 2K AI, you would think they would feed Garland or Mobley, or Mitchell, I should say. Either way, Jesser with the ball now, with a chance to hit his 5th straight shot of the 4th quarter. On the isolation, driving on Mitchell. Mitchell just has no answer. You want to talk about domination? There you go, and I jinxed it again. Oh my God. I am jinxing him on these free throws big time. He hits the second. Out of the timeout, Okoro passes it into Garland, the jab step. Good defense by Steph Curry. Donovan Mitchell is wide open. Jesser loses him. Donovan hits the shot. It's only a 4-point game. They come and trap Steph Curry. A wild pass, and they foul Jackson Davis. Might not be a bad decision. The first free throw is going to roll. I thought it was rolling off. The second free throw is good. Cleveland has to hit a 3 here to cut it down to a 1-possession game. Donovan Mitchell to the basket. He makes it a 4-point game in style, although this time they're going to foul Steph Curry. And Steph Curry might be able to seal it at the line. First one is good. And the second free throw to potentially win another championship in Cleveland is good. It's a 6-point game. Cleveland is going to call another timeout. 30 seconds to play, 20 on the shot clock. They have to go for a 3. They pass it into Garland at the free throw line again. Behind the back pass to Mitchell. Mitchell with a snatchback. Out to Garland for the 3. It's off. Rebounded by Jesser. Over to Curry. And that's going to do it.
There it is. Redemption for Golden State. One of the great playoff runs of all time is complete. The Warriors are NBA champions again.
So now we know what would have happened if Jesser was in the NBA. But what would have happened if Kai Cenat and IShow Speed were in the league instead? To find out the answers to that question, click the video on the screen.